Well, I'm back from RootsTech. It was good. It was a long week. A long week, but it was good. I'll probably talk more about what I saw at RootsTech tomorrow. But one thing I learned that I needed to do really quickly was update the overview for Trepo. I don't really have a good overview presentation. So I've been working on that all day. I'll show you some parts of it. It's not all complete. It's looking to be probably a 20-minute presentation. I'll probably end up practicing it multiple times and giving it and polishing it up. But for now, I'll just kind of give you an overview. I won't really do the presentation per se, just kind of going over it. It's good for me because I'll be more familiar with it. So here goes, Trepo, an overview. So first we'll start off with a little story we all should be able to relate to. So you have an idea, a really good idea. You know, it could revolutionize the genealogy industry if we did this and that, and the UX and the algorithms and the big data, etc., etc., etc. We'd be really good. And then you ask the question, where are you going to store your data? And that's where we go, what are my options? So option one, you can use another company's back end. You can use Family Search. There's some other back ends out there but they're all proprietary. If you want to store something new, good luck. If you need access to your raw data, yeah, right. They typically require that you go through certification programs and other things to make sure that you're playing nicely with everyone else. You know, but you're trying to be unique. And hosting it yourselves, as far as I know, that does not exist in this space. If you're trying to do some cool kick butt thing, you know, using another company's back end. Option two, you can borrow a back end from someone to run it yourself. But you typically want to be able to run stuff in a browser, so no desktop solutions. You know, usually your back end was written for a specific UI. So good luck uncoupling. You can end up with some weird things because that's the way they did in the UI. They didn't design it just to stand on its own. Hopefully you can find something that can be internationalized. And sometimes a single database per customer just flat out doesn't work. So, which leads us to option three, which is pretty much the standard, well, roll your own. Good luck. You know, and everyone does this, and it's really sad because we're reinventing the wheel again and again and again. Whoops, I need to press the right button. There we go. So, you want another option, and so do we, /I. Still not sure if I want to do the royal we in this presentation. But here's what we want. We want something that's open source, that I can use, hack, see what's going on, and if I got a bug, I don't have to be at the, you know, the mercy of somebody else's development schedule. I want to version my data. I want it all versioned. I want to be able to undo things. I want to see who changed what, when. I want to make any part of my data public or private as I want, and I want to be able to collaborate with whom I want, when I want, and how I want. I want to allow disagreements. I don't want this, you kill my father, prepare to die, silliness happening. I want two people to agree on everything except for the one or two things they don't agree on, but still be able to see their own version. Each sees what they want to see, and I still want to be able to collaborate. I want to be able to distribute my data. There's power in being able to, I have my piece and you have your piece, and I can send you bits and pieces of mine, and we can synchronize, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Again, we're not hitting we're hitting a piece of the presentation where I don't have a picture for the next couple, three. But I want to be able to run it on server, desktop, phone, tablet, whatever. I want it to run everywhere and it should all sync. You know, I want it to be extensible. I want to be able to add my custom special data, my flavor, my flair to this thing, and be able to integrate and have it still work, and be able to collaborate with others that don't necessarily use exactly the same data, but we share, you know, the 90% that we do share, we should be able to collaborate on. I want it to be scalable and performant. This is important. I need it to work at scale, and I need it to act like a 21st century piece of software, like a 2015 piece of software, not a 2003 piece of software. You know, speed is critical to user experience. Flat out, period. There's nothing more to say. It's got to be able to do this. So, took all of that and all that under consideration and designed and built Trepo, an open source genealogy backend. Not sure if backend is the most appropriate word. Meh, whatever. So, it starts with a property graph. You got nodes and edges. You can store data on those nodes and edges. Traversals are good. It's expressive, understandable. You know, there's a whole bunch of graph databases out there. You know, so then we have vgraph on top, where you have the UUIDs and the labels, and you have the repositories and boundaries, and then you do this versioning thing, which didn't highlight for some reason. Interesting. And again, a link to read more. So we have decap, and these next two sections, vertical sections, I have no images for yet. That's tomorrow morning's thing. You know what? So I'm going to skip them. So you have decap and you have ptree, and then you have endpipes, which is the cross repo bouncing, and then you have the REST API, where you have all the CRUD operations are mounted at graph. Here's some examples. You have traversal, which is endpipes, which has things like ancestry and descendancy. You have search, so name, place, date, relationship, other searches like that. You have commit, patch, and diff. You know, they're available. You know, all the basic versioning operations that you need. You have the decap store and server functionality here. You have custom, a typical place for custom functionality. You know, you can always go read more. And that, with the other two sections, is pretty much Trepo. You have the REST API, endpipes, ptree, decap, vgraph, and property graph on bottom. And that makes up Trepo. Ta-da! Yay. That was 6 minutes. Blew through that thing. So, needless to say, I think it'll be really good to do this. I'll have to record a full formal presentation with a voiceover or something at some point. But I talked to some people about Trepo. It still is needed in industry. You know, there's a whole bunch of other companies that popped up, and it's like, oh, if they would have had Trepo, they could have been so much further ahead. So that's what I've been doing. Tomorrow I want to finish up this presentation, and like you saw on the bottoms of these, you know, read more. I need to do specific overviews, like in-depth, where there are their own 20 to 30 minute presentations for each of the components. So, but not today, for it is dinner time and I'm starting to get hungry. So I'll see you tomorrow, and take care.